Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Scotty Gamer channel. Today, ladies and gentlemen, will be a continuation of what we started in the previous video. It will be the group stage recap part 2, as I mentioned in the last video. If I were to react to the entire group stage in one video, it will be about 2 hours long. But, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget I still have plenty of content waiting for you, including this second part and the third part of the group stage recap, okay? Now, short disclaimer before we start. I just want to say that I only want to react to the games I've watched, due to the fact that I want to give you a 100% authentic analysis, and that's just not possible through the highlights, okay? And the truth is, I don't think I've watched so many second group stage games, to be honest, so this video might be a bit shorter, so apologies for that. But as I say, to keep it authentic, and throughout this entire World Cup, I only want to react to the games I've watched, due to the fact, as I say, to give you a proper analysis. But we have plenty of games to react to, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and lasses, lasses and lads, okay? First off, we start off with this one, okay? We start off with this one here. South Africa playing the Czechs, and I tell you what, both teams starting with 0 points into the group stage. I didn't really expect much, and yeah, to be honest, it kind of went the way I thought it would go. Like, it wasn't really much. Like, the Czechs have the advantage, or had the advantage of aerial dominance, which obviously played into their cards, and which means they could win more headers. But at the end of the day, it was a really nice passage of play after 6 minutes to score the first goal for the Czechs. So they tried to defend and tried to, as I say, abuse almost that aerial dominance that they had. But I also want to shout out South Africa. Seriously, I really want to shout out South Africa, because they tried to play on the counter. They tried to play quick. Excuse me. Siri just decided to start talking there. But yeah, South Africa, I really need to take my hats off to them, because they decided to play, man. They decided to wake up. They really decided to play on the counter. Unfortunately, that didn't quite come off. But then, in the 83rd minute, it's a penalty, which in my opinion is a clear penalty. And then the South African player, I can't think of his name. I'm very sorry. Slots it in into the left side, because it wasn't necessarily left corner, left side, to equalise the game. And overall, I think it's a very, very fair result. Right, so now we move on. I want to spare a quick word on Canada quickly. I didn't watch the game, but I did see a little bit. And I must admit, for the Canadians, it felt like all the chances they missed in the previous game, they sort of managed to compensate and absolutely shot Qatar off the park. Qatar obviously with a red card as well, as you can see, and to be honest, it was a very, very fair red card, and you could just feel the weight lift off of the Canadians' shoulders, and it was really, really great to see. Jonathan David with a hat trick. That's what number 9s are for, and very, very convincing win by the Canadians. Right, so now I want to move on to this game right here, the second game of the US. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie to you boys, it was thing is, it says here, right, and I might have got mixed up, and you just noticed that I might have got mixed up with the in the last video with the US, with my with the US games, but yeah, I must admit it was quite unlucky from the Australians with that own goal. But don't kid yourselves. Even though they scored their own goal, and even though the US scored a second, the Aussies were still in the game. You know, the Socceroos still were in the game. I think it was a very even game on the eye test. You know, even though the US won 2-0, but I think Australia, you know, pressed really well when they attempted to, come at them and sort of, you know, slice their way through. But truth is, Mauricio Pochettino's men were just too strong for him at the end of the day, and that's why the game ends USA 2, Australia 0. Okay. So now, and believe it or not, I did actually stay up for this one. Scotland, Morocco. Okay, Scotland, Morocco. And this was just a typical Morocco performance, man. You know, as you can see, after 2 minutes, Ismail Saibari, the new Munich man, the new Bayern man, scores instantly, and then it was basically a game of defence for Morocco, and Scotland had a couple chances, yes, but at the end of the day it wasn't enough, because Morocco's defence is just very, very solid, and they're very, very good going forward, and and I had a feeling that Scotland couldn't really cope with that in some periods of the game, respectfully. But as I say, it was a typical Morocco performance. Early lead, and then stand compact and tight, and then just see out the result, and that's exactly what they did. So Morocco 1, Scotland 0, and yeah, man. Scotland in real danger of going home early. Oh yeah, we move on now to the next game. I also stayed up to watch this one too. Brazil versus Haiti, and I'll tell you what a game for the Man United man. What a game for Matheus Cunha. You know, the truth is, Brazil came into this game like an absolute bulldozer. Brazil, just with the quality that they've got and the team that they are, and the stature that they've got, just absolutely came at Haiti with, I wouldn't say all their might, but with a lot of force. And you know, for a little country like Haiti, that is just too much. You know, I mean, I believe it was 2 goals disallowed through offside. You know, one by Rafinha, and then one by Endrick. You know, but at the end of the day, it's a Matheus Cunha brace. Shout out to him, absolutely amazing game. And also Vinicius Jr., who absolutely embarrasses the Haiti goalkeeper, absolutely shoving it through his legs. And I mean, it's not necessarily an embarrassment for Haiti, because you can lose to Brazil, but at the same time there are better and more gracious ways to lose. And I know they're a small country, but you know, as I say, with all the might Brazil have, Haiti just couldn't cope. And so I think it's a fair result, and Brazil win their first game of the tournament. So well done to them. Right, so now we are not quite moving on, but I want to drop a quick word on Paraguay Turkey quickly, because what Paraguay did in this game was absolutely unbelievable. They send home Turkey, and to be honest, it's just absolute scenes, absolutely amazing. And fair enough at the end of the day. Turkey just didn't show enough. Turkey, even though they dominated for some aspect, they still didn't show enough, and that's why they deserve to go home early. Alright. Listen, now I want to move on to one of the most crazy games of the tournament up until this point, right? And that's this one right here. And I must admit that Ronald Koeman absolutely and completely aced the team selection for this one, because Brian Brobby in this one was lethal. You can see, the physicality and the speed of the Premier League really coming into effect with him. And with good players around him, Dumfries, Van Dijk, all these guys, you can really see what he can do. Scores a brace on his World Cup debut, and just in general had a wonderful and great game. Cody Gakpo also scoring a brace, with one of them, of course, being one of his trademarks. Cutting inside and then scoring. And then another player that nobody really talks about, but I think he's having a good tournament up until this point. Crescencio Somerville to step up in the 89th minute and to seal the deal, 5-1. And man, I mean, Sweden did try and fight. Sweden tried everything they could. But at the end of the day, the Holland steamroller just couldn't. The Holland steamroller just didn't stop. The only way of scoring, and that's how they executed it, was individual brilliance by Anthony Elanga. Just pure raw pace to an absolutely amazing finish. To completely catch the defense out. But at the end of the day, I did not expect Holland to win as high as they did. Not gonna lie to you. Right. And now this one right here, because there's a lot to unpack in this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's quite a bit to unpack in this one. Okay, Germany takes on. I wanted to say Curacao. Germany takes on the Ivory Coast, and I tell you what, the Germans are so lucky they've got a certain player by the name of Dennis Undav, because let's be honest with ourselves, the Ivory Coast absolutely cooked them. The Ivory Coast completely and utterly cooked them. And you know why? It was men against boys in some aspect. You want to know why? Because the Africans were ready to play, man. They came at Germany with such a physical, pragmatic playing style that the Germans just could not could not cope with it. Every tackle, every duel, it felt like Germany was second best because they were just constantly bullied off the ball by the physical approach of the Ivory Coast team. But at the end of the day, as I say, they could be very, very lucky. They've got a certain Dennis Undaff in their team because he saves their backside. Otherwise, Germany could have been sent packing early once again after the 2022 disaster against the Japanese. But they're still in it at the end of the day. But in my opinion, the Ivory Coast should have at least deserved an equaliser because they played really, really well. And as I say, the Germans found it really hard to cope, especially on the physical side of things. Okay? Right, so now we move on to the next couple games. Ecuador, Curacao, and Tunisia, Japan. Now, I did not watch them, I must confess, because this one I believe was at like midnight, and this one I believe was at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And to be honest, I did not stay up for that one. So yeah, man. But congrats to Japan and congrats to Curacao for getting a point, and as I say, congrats to Japan for winning in such a dominant fashion. By the way, if you haven't already seen, Tunisia have sacked their coach after that defeat. Okay, so that is absolutely crazy news, and Tunisia are out of the tournament early. Okay. But now we move on to this one here. Spain played Saudi Arabia, and there was it was a dominant performance. It was a dominant performance by Spain, and you noticed that one guy absolutely and completely livened up that Spain attack, and that's this guy right here. This guy right here, Lamine Yamal, even scores after 10 minutes with a great delivery. I think it's from like Pedro Porro, and then he absolutely slams it in. So yeah, it was a great goal by Lamine Yamal. Also, I also want to shout out William Sabal because it was two very well taken goals, and I think that would have helped his confidence as well, considering he did not have a touch with the ball for 30 minutes against Capo Verde, and now he scores a brace, and yeah, man. So congrats to Spain, who absolutely push Saudi Arabia to the side. And to be honest, they didn't really have a lot of chances, and they didn't really give Spain such a difficult game. So I think the result at the end is deserved. Okay, right. Let's see now. Right. Now, Belgium, Iran. This is another very interesting one. This is a very interesting one because, believe it or not, this was a very balanced game. This was a very, very balanced game. And, Belgium got a red card, which obviously helped Iran, but Iran were also unlucky considering they had a goal disallowed, which in my opinion was marginally close. So yeah, lads, at the end of the day, as I say, it was a very close, very balanced, very even game. And I would have loved to see Iran actually win it, because it was a very, very good executed free kick style by the Iranians. But VAR got in the way, and then it's just a fair result, because Belgium, certainly had chances, they didn't take them. Iran had a couple chances, they didn't take them. So, if you don't score goals, you don't win ultimately, and that's what happened here. So, here we go. I want to move on to this one real quick. Now, I didn't actually watch it, but I still want to give a couple sentences to it, because congratulations, Cape Verde. Congratulations, man. Seriously. That free kick, absolutely stunning. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely class. You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm really, really happy for him. The fairy tale continues, and they might actually qualify for the knockout stages if they keep on going the way they are. Next one would be New Zealand, Egypt. I didn't actually watch this game, so I can't actually give you my thoughts. Austria, Argentina, of course, I will bring to you later. Then we've got France, Iraq, man. France, Iraq. And all I can say is France look very, very strong, very, very clinical, you know what I'm saying? Goals from Mbappe and Dembele seal the deal, but at the end of the day, very, very dominant performance. There's nothing more you can say about it. Right, so then we've got Norway, Senegal. I didn't actually watch this game either, because it was all very, very late. But congrats to Norway. They pull back I believe it was that they came from 2 goals down or something. To win it 3-2. The mentality is elite, and Erling Haaland is absolutely class as well. Now, this one I didn't see either, but Algeria were lucky in a way to sort of survive, to sort of win the way they did, considering it was a very, very late goal. But Jordan gave him a good game, but at the end of the day, quality of Algeria just prevailed. So now we've got Uzbekistan, Portugal, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Cristiano Ronaldo might be back on the biggest stage in the world, scoring a brace against Uzbekistan. And before you cry, oh, it's only Uzbekistan. Yeah, I know, but it's Cristiano Ronaldo we're talking about, mate. You know what I'm saying? So he scores a brace. Nuno Mendes, man, what a player! What a free kick! What a goal! Absolutely, absolutely class. I feel sorry for Uzbekistan, because they had a goal chalked off, which in my opinion should have stood. But game's game at the end of the day, and they've got technology and they've got sensors and all that stuff. So it's unfortunate, because it was a really, really lovely goal as well. But yeah, man, Portugal end a dominant performance, 5-0 against Uzbekistan. Rafael Leao also, what a goal! In the 87th minute, just absolutely blasts it in. It was just really good to see, man. it was really good to see him smile again, and yeah, Portugal get the 3 points. So the next game will be England-Ghana, but as I say, I will bring that match reaction to you shortly, okay? So now we've got Panama, Croatia, and Colombia, Congo, okay? But to be honest, I didn't watch any of those games, and so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately I'm going to have to skip those. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially at the end of part 2 of the group stage match reaction part 2. Stay tuned, as I will post part 3 shortly. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below of the second group stage games, and yeah, I say, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on the post notifications so you don't miss any future videos, okay? And don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen, I've got plenty of World Cup content coming your way before the tournament is up, okay? So don't get your knickers in a twist, don't panic, because your boy is on the case, alright? But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying thank you very much for watching. It's Scotty out. Peace.